But when it comes to this old thing, making black men feel less than, I don't fuck with it. We at this time we can't afford none of that, especially for the shit that they campaigning off of, because none of those things that they campaigning off of represents our rise. And if it don't represent black men rise specifically, then I have no loyalty to it. We should have no loyalty to it. And I say black men, because we can't do nothing with a nation where just our women rise. I'm going to be honest with you. Y'all know that. Y'all know how insufferable it is out here. Black women being successful by themselves is a failure to the family. It only puts more struggle on you. It doesn't represent an actual success. Our sisters are struggling in the sense that they can't increase their joy. They'll never be able to retire. It's the opposite of what's happening here, where I'm at. The mental, physical, spiritual oppression that happens every day to all the black men that I know. And I ain't saying we know victims, not in the sense that, oh, we need to go cry to somebody. But I'm telling you that we are aware of what the history of this country is, our problems are, and what our way forward should be. And if those are not being communicated, as if you are aware and you are addressing those things, providing opportunities for us to take advantage of, speaking specifically our language and appealing to our consciousness, and you have the money to do it. $1 billion is enough for you to focus and figure out how to get these things done. All you have to do is talk to black men, because we are the ones that fight and advocate for ourselves every single day. If you can't do that, and then you can't turn around and then blame us for your inability to do your job. Because to me, once I hear that, the question becomes is, what do we get? And I know what we get in Trump. See, here's the thing. We should have put up and set up an independent party. And the reason that I'm not speaking on Trump, it's not because I believe in him. I would tell any party to vote for him. I wouldn't. I'll be honest with you. But it's because 80% of black men have given their loyalty to the Democratic Party for years. So if there's a party that owes you for your loyalty, it is the Democratic Party. And their assumption of your continued loyalty without reward is disrespect. Sound bites won't do it. Pan rappers won't do it. Pan athletes won't do it. We have some very brilliant minds, but the reason that you can't sit with the brilliant minds is the same reason that Obama had to denounce Farrakhan. It's because Israel won't allow it. When I hear them speak about Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, they speak about them plainly. They have the right to defend themselves. We're going to continue to give them resources. They don't waver. And maybe they have conversations behind the closed doors of talking to political activists about the things that they plan to do or plan not to do. I don't know. I'm not involved in those conversations, and nobody's called me to tell me about that. So I can't assume that that's happening just because. But I know they speak very plainly on what they're going to do for Israel. They know what Israel needs. They know why they need it. They speak firmly on the right for them to defend themselves and continue to oppress the people in Gaza and Palestine. And the reason they can't speak to any of these black men like Ta-Nehisi Coates or Mark Lamont Hill even, I ain't talking about myself, is because they know that will be an issue that they will press. And they don't have a defense for it. Dr. Ware talked about it, the radical black tradition, because we know that any administration that will allow oppression will also oppress us. Meaning that we get the same thing that's been happening. Yesterday, the victims of Hiroshima, those who had survived, received the Nobel Peace Prize. And an elder Japanese man got up there and he started crying and sobbing in tears. He said, I didn't think I was going to win. He said, I thought it was going to go to those fighting for peace in Palestine. And that was respect. When I got here, I was going through a bridge and I seen Free Palestine. The Japanese had wrote Free Palestine. If they don't know that economic opportunities and justice reform, right, focusing on the mental health crisis of black men in this community are some of the huge things that should be campaigned on and spoken directly to. And we just think they're going to figure it out and hopefully do it. When you get $1 billion, that means that that pie has been split up. And you owe those who paid you. They're going to want a return. And you're not even thanking black men for what they've done for you in the past. You're blaming them. And so if this thing becomes a close election, I don't see everybody going and shouting and saying, thank you, black man. Thank you, black man. We owe you for putting us in this position. I don't see that happening. This is why I don't like the conversation around the blame, because it takes it so far away from the conversation of negotiation for what we get for helping you. And when you get in that house, how beholden are you going to be? How grateful are you going to be for what we've done for you? Without negotiation. See, this is my firm belief. Make no assumptions, only agreements. If we cannot make an agreement, do not assume that you have the support. Now, I know many people, they're going to hit me up. Keys, I got sources in the White House. They telling me this, that. I want to talk myself to them. I feel like I could possibly get Donald Trump on my show faster than Kamala Harris, and I shouldn't feel that way. I shouldn't. I should feel this much easier. But I should be able to speak to you real. You should be vulnerable enough to be pinned down with questions that you have answers for, because you're going for the hardest job in the world. So there's so many different things that I can speak upon on this live. But I know that, and I actually seen Van Jones gave a great critique of Obama. He said, listen, you came and shamed, not praised. And black men have been doing an incredible job working. We act like black men is just down in the dumps. That ain't true. We've been working, we've been building, we've been hustling, we've been feeding, we've been leading, we've been healing. You know what I'm talking about? It ain't easy. Shit, we trying to get rid of hundreds of years of trauma just for the last 100 years of working off the karma of our fathers and grandfathers. We talk about it all the time, the lack of black fathers in the household. Well, why do you think that their children will just be properly reeled up and perfect? So how do you blame the generation who did not have fathers, instead of look at what they have done in the absence of completeness? Not only was a lot of our fathers missing, we had to deal with the devil at the same time. We had to deal with the system at the same time. Started from first generational curse breaking, and never been lent a dime, had to do so many things on our own. And I'll leave with this last point. Being self-made is not a flex. Here in Japan, wealth is not flaunted as some self-made enterprise. It's seen as a collective responsibility. When we have to do it on our own, it makes us selfish. So those who do finally get some success, they have developed a pattern of thinking only for themselves, the individual. So they don't know how to think for the collective and as a collective. They don't know how to be fathers and share. They don't know how to be good stewards. They know how to think for itself. They have to become stark hustlers, developing those dark traits, controlling them, becoming capitalists. So if you're not going to provide economic opportunities for us, then those who do have the strength, the leadership, the money, the knowledge, we say, what do we need you for if I got this far without you? We dealt with the police. We dealt with the system. Many of us have brothers, uncles, fathers who are incarcerated, mentally ill, dead, on drugs, or just living a very low-level lifestyle. It's very hard for you to push fear and propaganda to say things are going to get worse. Because for many of us, and I'll be honest, for many of my brothers out there, they don't feel like it can get any worse. Or it just feels like another expedition in the rough seas of America. Storms come and storms go. But they make better sailors. So if it's not a promise and an agreement to understand ways to provide opportunities, do not look for politics to save you. We have to save ourselves, and there are many ways to save ourselves.